Morning, everyone. Welcome to our live webinar of eIMMIGRATION. My name is Vanessa. On behalf of Serenade, I want to thank you for joining us today. So today we're going to have a training about probably something that all of us need, how to avoid stress and organize my practice or my organization. Hi, good afternoon for you. Good morning for me. Happy Friday. I'm so happy it's Friday. It's been quite a hectic week for me. And it's funny because I was preparing for the PowerPoint. I was like, I'm myself stressed. Like, I need this. So it's definitely about how to plan and organize your practice. And e-immigration has a lot of features that can help you guys not just organize, how you do things, the workflows, and but also how to automate things. So today we're gonna try to squeeze as much information we have in 1 hour. We do have, for those who are new, we record the trainings. Okay, so the webinars are recorded, and we have a YouTube channel. If you don't know, you can just go to youtube.com, search Serenade Academy, and every time we do these webinars, unless YouTube bans the video, but for example, 2 days ago, we uploaded the basic training we did recently for new users. So if you are new, and if you missed this webinar, you can watch the video here. Or when we release new features like the AI Extractor feature, well, then you can watch the video. It's about 6 minutes long, where you can learn how this feature works. Anyway, so please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you are aware when we have new uploads. Okay, and like I said, today's training is being recorded. Also, we have this PowerPoint presentation available. If you click on the handouts, you can just download my PowerPoint and click on the links to learn more about these items or features. Okay. What else? You have a chat where you can send me questions throughout the training, and it doesn't matter if it's not related. Again, remember, we're here to feel like her, right? Peaceful and avoid the stress. So anything that I can answer for you today, go ahead and just send me the question via the chat. All right, let's get started. So today I'm going to show you how to properly create cases. Let's go one step at a time. So this is the caseworker portal. And I suggest you bookmark it again. Avoid the stress of searching for the URL. Just save it somewhere where you can just access. If you bookmark it, it's a lot easier. The caseworker portal is the main window. Is that as a reminder, you also have access to maybe not everyone in your organization, but your account has included a administrative portal for customizations. Okay, so as a reminder, if you haven't taken your training, I recommend that you reach out and say, hey, I need my admin private training. Why? Because a lot of customizations that you can um, create here will save you so much time. Okay, so let me go back. How do I create a case properly? Well, yes, even though you can um, create a contact, and maybe that person is just a prospect and you don't really necessarily use the system for the forms because it's just a consultation, for example, that's fine. Sometimes clients just go straight and create a case, and that's okay too. It's just the way that I've learned throughout these years is the best practice is to always create the contact first. For example, let's say we create a contact for a prospect who retains us and now becomes an active client, then we switch the status to active. This also allows us to use the system as a CRM and run reports to know how many prospects do we have versus how many actual active clients. And of course, archiving them. Or if you do business employment-based cases, then if, of course, it's a business contact. But anyway, so you create the contact first, okay? When you create the contact, let's say Gabriela. I created the contact earlier, and now I need to enter her information. Okay, well, let's see. Is Gabriela tech savvy? Then if she is, awesome. Let me just get her cell phone or email and send her a questionnaire so she can complete the questionnaire online from home. It's a win-win. But if Gabriela is not tech savvy and I need to do the data entry, I have two ways. I can send her a questionnaire, give her a questionnaire physically, like I can translate to even Spanish and print the questionnaire for her. So she can just bring the information and I'll just do the data entry. Or If I have Gabriela on the phone or in front of me, let me just open the alternate view and ask her questions. We have questionnaires included in the system that you guys can utilize, like biographic info, for example, or you can customize your own questionnaires, like this one, initial intake form. Hey, Gabriela, or like this one, is this the first time that you contact us? Yes. Okay, how did you hear about this law firm? So as you can see, you can use the system as a CRM because at the end of the month or so, you can run a report, say how many new contacts were here because of Google or referrals or anyway. So when you create the contact and use the alternate view to capture the data, let me just add a couple more details. Gabriela, what's your date of birth? So let's say it's September 9th, and I save it. I get a green, I was going to say a green card. I already got that one. Was a green notification. And then I can just close it. And whatever information I entered, it's here. It's stored, which means that if I create a case, this information transfers to the forms. What happens sometimes is clients are probably rushed to just create the case. And when they open forms, obviously nothing transfers because this is blank. Let me show you a different example. I already have an account with this client. I've sent her a questionnaire. I have everything that I need, or at least almost, all the data almost. And not just for her, but I also have gathered the information from the children or the spouse or right. So their data will also transfer to the forms. Let me know if you have any questions at this point. Also, let me know if you are a new user or you've been using the system for quite a long time. Let's see. Is this a refresher course for you or are you a new user? Okay, thank you for those who voted. I'm just going to close, and it looks like the majority of you are, of course, existing users. That's awesome. Thank you for joining us, like I said, and I hope that you learned something new that makes you more relaxed. All right, so I created the contact, I entered data, and I also have linked the members. That's again, recommendation, you may want to just type data manually, but I don't think so because then again, it's time consuming. It's better for you to just click link member and create the contact or search the contact profile and select the type of relationship. Then that way, when the form asks for children, her information will transfer automatically too. Okay, so that's the reason why we want to link the members. And then once you create the contact, right, you've entered the data, you have linked to the members. Step 3 is when you create the case. Now, I can either click on cases on the right hand side and click create the case here, or click on create case from here, right? So this is the case wizard, the department, the type of process, all of these drop-down menus, except for this one, can be customized. So if I pick the process, I don't know, I'm just going to say, and that one hasn't been, if you have customized it so that it's linked to the area of practice, it automatically shows that. Or you can just sort by the type of practice. The thing is, that's something that you customize here in the administrator portal. So anyway, so I picked an adjustment of status. All these drop-down menus can be customized. Now, again, another recommendation is that if you customize them, if you think about it, long-term benefit, if I ever need to run a report, how many clients do I have or how many cases for an adjustment of status do we have in process versus how many have been interrupted or pending with NBC or like, I don't know, like you can um, run reports a lot easier if you have filters to utilize, okay? Let me make sure that you guys can see my screen. Okay, good. I'm going to click next. My information as the attorney transfers to forms. If you have another attorney, you can always switch by selecting the box right here, who transfers to the forms, and you can do that on a case-by-case basis. And this is important. I've seen, in fact, this morning I talked to a client who said, I realized the petitioner info did transfer, but not the beneficiary. Why? Because when the forms populate on the left or right, it should say alien info goes here. So my recommendation is if you want to save time, who doesn't? Right, the petitioner, you can do petitioner. But for the beneficiary, I suggest that you select alien because again, the forms say alien info goes here. If you pick beneficiary, which is fine, just so you know, when you open the form, then nothing will transfer and you can just click on the select button and then select the name of the person regardless of the role that you're giving them here. It could be other anyways, but it will transfer when you click on the name. But if you want to save time, just a couple of clicks, then just select alien. Now if you are handling employment-based cases, for employment-based cases the employer has to be linked as employer. Okay, let me say that again. Beneficiary, for family-based cases, you can do petitioner. But for employment-based cases, select employer. As you saw here, the settings were enabled where I can pick the branch and I can pick the signatory on a case-by-case basis. The reason why they show up here is because I have created members and linked them as signatories to the employer. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Click next. This is something that you may also or you may want to customize. I I joke and say this is like the slap in the hand for the paralegals if they forget. For example, if I forget to select the status, this is it. Like it's gonna tell me the program type is not equal to grant 2, and don't forget the status has to be active. So it's just a reminder to be consistent. A lot of nonprofits use it to make sure that the staff selects the type of grant based on the type of program or process. Or I'm reading a question. Remember, we have a chat where you can send me questions. It says for each role, for each one role or the person added, the system increase amount monthly. No 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 You pay for a license. You can always check if you go to your subscription details, how many licenses do you have? That's basically it. It doesn't matter if it's, I think that's what you meant. But yeah, we won't charge you for the clients that you add or create. Those are included in as many cases, as many clients as you want to create. It's a case worker that pretty much determines how many people are logged in that are using the system as a case worker, and that's when you pay for a license. I hope that I answered your question right, but if it wasn't clear, let me know. Please and thanks in advance. We have 4 licenses, just 2 admins. So that means that 4 people can log in at the same time, and you decided that out of those 4, only 2 have the privilege of customizing the system. That's fine. Um, well, if I go here in my admin and click on users and say, you know what, I don't know if you guys are a nonprofit or not, but let's say we have a DOJ, his information will transfer, but he's not going to use the system. So I'm not going to create an account. I don't need a license for him. Or let's say an attorney, right? His info or her info will transfer to the forms, but she's not going to use the system, so I don't need a license. You can still create a caseworker profile and have the system transfer that info, like state bar number, jurisdiction details, everything can transfer to the forms, even if that attorney doesn't have a license. I hope I don't confuse you. Okay, you're welcome. All right, thank you for the question. So let's go back. So we were creating a case, and I was showing you the last step of this case wizard. And yeah, so this is where you see the forms checklist, and you can always customize it on a case-by-case basis. So you can say, you know what, I need another form. I can just type the number, and that's actually a good recommendation to give you guys. So don't enter the letters. Like if I need an I-130, I don't do I-130 because nothing will show up unless you do I-130, then yes, but it's faster if you just search by number. Okay. All right, so let's create the case, and that's basically how you create a case. It tells you the type of process, the case number. That's how you can tell you're in the case window. Let me see, what's the next item? Reminders. Funny that I had to go to the PowerPoint to remember to talk about the reminders. Okay, so where do I create a reminder? You can create a reminder in both the contact or the case profile. If you click on reminders and then reminders again, I also recommend that you customize a type of reminders. The category. Why? Because I mean it's easier. Remember today we're going to talk about how to organize yourself, and the more time you can save the better. So if I get a reminder that says you have a task, how do I prioritize if it says deadline or task or follow up? Be more specific. I need to check with client about biometrics appointment details, or I need to call the client for follow up, or I have an RFE. So, based on the type of category, then I can make a decision to either delegate or prioritize, and my due date. When is this RFE supposed to be maybe completed or responded by the 28th? Okay, that's our deadline, our due date. Well, with the reminders, you can get an email or text message or both, like a notification. So let's say I get an email. I want to get an email a few days before the RFE is due. Send me that at 8:30 a.m. and don't enter the completed date because that means that you've done it. And also, who's responsible to do this RFE? I don't know. I'm just gonna pick myself, and I can CC the client. You click on the three dots, you select other responsible parties, or again the client, so she's aware we need to prepare for the RFE. This is new. Now you can add a template instead of typing the message over and over and over again. You can go into the admin and say, you know what, I want to create a letter template so that my reminder, I'll put here reminder for RFE, and that's it, reminder for RFE. Prepare, or don't forget to bring the documentation. I don't know, whatever you guys want to add to the message. Remember, my client is going to also get that message. So if I select the template, I'm just going to pick any other template. It will auto-populate if I use the tags with my logo, and I don't have to retype the message related to the the reminder for RFE. So just save the changes and the system will email the client. Now, as you can see, I've got reminders that I need to complete, and those are tracked here in the tickler. So if I go to my dashboard called tickler, which by the way, you can customize the layout, I can see that I've got 33 overdue reminders at the client level, and I'm going to click on them. Then I probably finished, these today, and I can just change the dates and say, you know what, the completed day is today. I finished them, so I can complete a bunch of overdue reminders at the same time. See, I'm telling you, we try to avoid stress. I wish this was like easier in life, like where I can just delete, delete, delete. um, but we can. So let's say this was pushed to, I don't know, the assessment of expiration dates. I need to change the date because the due date is now maybe in 2 weeks. So I can apply that and move that. So that's also easier to do from the tickler instead of one by one. Okay, so let me know if you have questions about how to create the reminders, but I put the links right here so that you guys can watch the video later. Don't forget to download my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, next item. How do I keep track of my staff's productivity? Okay, well, if you create a case and then you use the process steps, these are like your tasks or to-do list. Remember, you can customize them. When you create a case and you click modify process steps, it tells you exactly what we need to do. And all you need to do is add the start date. When are we starting this case to send the agreement? Who's responsible? And then save. If that means that if by June 11th, wait a minute. Oh yeah, because I put, I was like, what day is today? Uh, yeah, so next Monday is when we need to start and we have 1 day to complete. Let me put 0 so it's the same Monday. Okay, so by June 10th, If I haven't finished this and I didn't click complete it, the system emails me, because it's checked, auto email. The system emails me a reminder because I'm the one selected. Okay. If you don't select anyone here, anyone who's linked to the case receives that email because we don't know who's the assigned caseworker. Now, if you want to delegate, then you need to add the caseworker here. Because let's say my paralegal, ¿dónde está Benita? Okay, I picked Benita. I want my paralegal to also help me with some of these process steps. So then I can modify the steps and say, Benita, I want you to please help me call the client for follow-up. Maybe call them, and you've got 3 days to make the call. And I can now choose Benita to be responsible for that step. Okay, what happens when Benita calls the client for follow-up? She clicks completed, and then we move to the next one and so forth. So again, if I wanted to see, hey, how many process steps Benita completed this week, I can always run a report. Or remember the tickler, I can see, hey, how many process steps do we have pending in the next 5, 20? I mean, you can customize these. These are just my process steps, right? So in the next 5 days, I have to do these 3, and it tells me when. But if I check the box here on the left, top left, where it says show data for all caseworkers, then, well, pretty much is the same. Oh, we've got 1,824. Let's say, okay, maybe this one belongs to a different caseworker. They have to send the questionnaire in August. So again, you get the idea. The tickler will be kind of like your one place to go. I call it the helicopter view, I guess, where I can see the whole thing at the same time. Just, reminders, process steps, expiration dates, even like invoices that are pending, my 30, 60, 90 aging report, I can easily see who owes me since when. Okay, so that's, remember, customizable, and you all of you have access to that feature. Now let me tell you what activities are. Activities are, let's go back to the case that we were just working on. Before I continue, any questions at this point? Okay, I'm waiting for the rest of the participants to vote. I know we're multitasking. Okay, let's close. I've got more than 50%. Awesome. All right, I may continue. So thank you for participating. So what are activities? Well, if I create a case and I have these steps or milestones that I need, like my to-do list or however you want to call it, workflow, to-do list, timeline. If you want to save time, my recommendation is that you go into your admin portal, click on case processes, and customize these activities by default. Let me show you why. Let's say for the asylum case or naturalization, whatever, let's pick, I'm going to click on the steps for asylum. Let's say that we need to send a questionnaire and I want to schedule an activity that every time that we need to send a questionnaire and we start the step, the system automatically sends a questionnaire. So I don't have to do it manually. Or how about when the attorney needs to review the case? I'm going to click activities, add. When we start the step, maybe a few days after, I'm going to say 2 days after we start the step, send an email to the attorney to remind him or remind her that, hey, you need to review the case. It's been 2 days since we started this step. So the system can send an email, send a text message, add an expense, add a note. Again, take advantage of these automations that all of you have access to. It's just a matter of scheduling or customizing them so that moving forward, you guys don't have to do things manually. Okay, if you have questions, let me know. But now you know what activities are. For example, earlier for this, you know what? I might be, okay, look at this one, send questionnaire. As soon as I say start today, or let's say start, yeah, let's say start today, it's due by the 9th. I'm gonna say I'm the one responsible, save. Okay, because I know we have, see, an activity, it's a 0 out of 2 completed. So that means that when the process step started, we send a questionnaire, which means that if I go into Valeria's account and I want to see if indeed it went out, I go to documents and I click on the left. Remember, what I'm doing is I'm going into the contact profile. What I did from the case, I just clicked on her name. It automatically opened her account, her contact profile. And what I did, I clicked on the right-hand side menu where it says documents. Here's where I can see what questionnaires have we sent to her. So let's see. According to that activity that we had programmed so that it automatically sends a questionnaire, unless of course I'm sending it to the husband. I'm not sure if it's the questionnaire for the petitioner or the beneficiary. Yeah, I probably went to, let me see. So activity, edit. Oh yeah, it went to the alien and she's not the alien. So I went to, who's the alien? Case party, Francisco. That means that if I go to Francisco's account, close, and click on documents, questionnaires, here it is. Oh, it has been sent. So you technically don't resend the same questionnaire. But anyway, so he hasn't submitted. So this is actually a good exercise for me to show you. I've sent Francisco the same questionnaire since April. Now, if he wanted to respond or he forgot, I can click, hey, send passwordless link so that he can just get the text message with the link and complete the questionnaire. Or I can also go client access, send him his username and password, let's say 1234, just to keep it simple. And then resend the credentials. Francisco, here's your username and password, and send that email so he knows how to access the client portal. Remember, you have a client portal included. So the clients can either log in here or use a passwordless link. So I'm actually going to log in as Frank. Was it? I think I put, yeah, that's it. So he can now complete the questionnaire. And let's see. So here it is. I've sent it since April. He's going to open the questionnaire. By the way, we have translations if you prefer to send it in Spanish or Korean or, and yep, so he has the questionnaire, but he realizes the date of birth is incorrect. So we're going to change it and then he sends it back, or he can print it. But once he sends it back, he has no access to that questionnaire. Well, on your end, you receive an email from us. Hey, attorney, you've got a new questionnaire. By the way, if you think I'm going fast, which I'm probably are, remember I'm recording the session. This is being recorded. You can always watch the video later. Or contact us if you want a private training so we can go at your own pace. Okay. We do offer private trainings as well. In fact, those are very helpful because then you share your screen, you take over, and we just tell you, click here, click there. So for people who are more hands-on learners. Okay, so what happens is clients send the questionnaire. We got an email notification. All right, now what do we do? We log in as a caseworker. We click on this icon that says questionnaires and forms, and here it is. It tells you the name of the client, the name of the questionnaire that we sent this since April, and he just submitted. So I can now open the questionnaire. I will review the changes. In fact, it's highlighted and I can just click and see what was in the system versus what he changed. And I can either accept or reject. Of course, if you accept, then it overwrites Looks like it's been linked, so I'm just not going to create another one. So yeah, I accepted the questionnaire, and yeah, and that's it. The data is already stored. And when I reopen, so for example, here, Francisco sent the questionnaire. I just accepted the questionnaire. It obviously updated the data. If I go back to the, let's say I-485, I'm going to open the I-485 after the fact, right? That we got the questionnaire. And remember, it could have been before or after we created the case. Look at the date of birth. It's transferring from his profile. Okay, so that's the reason why we encourage you to please enter the data into the profile or send them a questionnaire. I hope that was helpful, but if you have questions, let me know. How do I check the case status updates and save those to the case, to the logs? Okay, first of all, what does that mean? That means that if I create a case and I receive a USCIS receipt, let me open a case. I can click on documents under immigrant visas or notices, and I can enter the receipt. We have a feature called Times Tracker, which means that if you are subscribed, the system checks every night against the USCIS processing times table and the visa bulletin websites, and it emails you a notification whenever the petition becomes current. If you're not subscribed, contact our sales team so that we can give you more information about it. So basically here, okay, I've entered the receipt and I want to see the status or updates. I click on the link, it tells me the case was approved. I want this to be in Spanish, caso fue aprobado, but I want to also copy that to the case, into the logs. So I click at the bottom. That means that if I go to the logs, it's here. And if the client calls, I can just read the note. Okay, it's actually pinned right here. All right, any questions at this point, please message me. Remember, this is your training, and that's the reason why we're here. I'm not a robot, although sometimes I feel like I'm one. Okay, I already talked to you about tickler, so I'm going to skip that one. I do want to show you what this default start page option is because, again, I mentioned the tickler being your one-stop shop where I can see everything, expiration dates, reminders, process steps. But what if that's the first thing I want to see when I log in? Okay, so if you click on settings, user preferences, you have it right here, default start page. Select tickler because that way, let me log out. Excuse me. No, hold on, let me log out. When I log in, the first thing that I will see will be my tickler. Okay. Again, let me know if you have any questions about these features. I'm curious to know. Give me 1 second. Okay, I will continue. If there are any other questions, you can message me, remember, through the chat. Okay, so what's the client or case overview? This is another one of my favorite features. Again, remember, it's all about this. Relax and let the system help you. And one of the features that can help you save time and just go straight to whatever you need to see is the overview. How do you customize it? Okay, let's go back to the contact. What I'm talking about is right here. It's a green button on the top right corner. It says client overview. You can customize it so that you can see exactly what you want to see here. Out of all the details for the general info page, I just want to see these and her picture. I want to see the cases. I want to be able to click on the link. I want to see the logs or appointments, but probably not every log or every reminder, just the ones that. So how do I customize this? Okay, let me show you. By the way, you can print it too. So you go here on the top right corner, click on user preferences, and on the right hand side on the menu, click client overview. Okay, now remember, please, 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 if you have questions, you can always contact us. Do that. You can call us, you can send us a message, you can watch these videos. So we're always here to help you. I know that it's overwhelming and it's probably a lot of steps, and But once you get the idea, trust me, it's going to make a huge difference. And that's the idea, for you to avoid the stress and organize your practice. But we're here to help you. If you have questions, you can just say, hey, where do I customize this overview thing? Like, you can just send the message and someone will email you back. All right. Anyway, so again, what I did, I went to the settings. I clicked on user preferences. I clicked on client overview, and this is where I can customize it. So let's say I don't want this box. I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to use this space because I want to see about RFEs info. Like, show me just RFEs for DOL and USCIS. Show me the document type. Probably no, I don't need that because it's going to say RFE anyways. But anyway, I mean, you can customize what exactly do you want to see out of all those documents. Or probably I don't care for the address. And for the cases, yes, give me the case, but show me just when was the case created, who's the case work. I don't know. You can pick the, not the case worker, sorry, the process type, when the case expires, or so you can do that. How about on this section, I want to add, out of all these custom fields that we created, give me the one that says, how did you hear about us? Or, you know, are they tech savvy? Or you can pick from all of these. Honestly, it's pretty cool because, again, invoices or reminders, out of all these reminders, just give me the ones related to court hearings. Let me pick one. Court dates. And I think there's one more that I wanted to show you. Give me 1 second. It was kind of like, no, it wasn't cases, appointments. I mean, you have a lot of options. That's why the benefit of customizing is because each person has different preferences. So I can just save my custom view of this client overview, and let's take a look. Let's go back to the contact profile. I'm going to click again on client overview. And now see, all my RFEs are here. My cases, the appointments. See, it's a lot easier to just go one place, search for anything you need, and maybe print it. Now, the case overview can't be customized, but it's also a great tool. Let me show you. If I go to the case, click on case overview, see, it tells me everything. When was this case created? What type of case? Who's the paralegal? The case parties, the forms, how long I spent on the form, every single thing. Even the process steps are here. Like, if it has an end date, that means that we finished that. Okay, so you can see what's pending, or, and again, you can print it. Any questions at this point, please let me know. You can message me. I picked the pictures that probably identify me or represent me. Alternate view. What is the alternate view? I think I mentioned this earlier when I was telling you about capturing data. Remember, I said that either you send her the questionnaire or you can type the data yourself. Well, the alternate view is where you can click to access all these questionnaires or intake forms. So if I want to just enter the data myself, open the alternate view, enter the information on behalf of the client, and save it or print it. So that's the alternate view. Make sure that you save your changes, okay? And you can access the alternate view progress or updates via documents so that it can show you, oops, sorry, I clicked. So it can show you what you've done. So if I go here, actually, let me pick a different client because she has so many. Case parties. Let's use Francisco's account. So if I go here, Francisco, then go to documents, and then alternate view, here's where I can see that we have used the alternate view to update Francisco's account since, February or May. If I open, I'm going to use this intake form and modify, say, case number, save it, close. I think I did save. Okay, let me save again. Close it. All right, so now let's go to alternate view. Here it is. See, that means that I opened the initial intake form from the alternate view today. If 3 months from today, I do the same thing with the initial intake form, it's going to show the update on date. Okay, so you have that record. Also, FYI, this was a feature recommended by a client. If at any point you guys have questions, I mean, not questions, suggestions for our dev team, you can go to feedback and let us know so we can make the system better. Next, custom intake forms. So you can customize the questionnaires from your administrator portal. If you go into your admin and click here, custom form templates, you can either use the intake forms that we have in the system, or you can create your own questionnaires. All right, we have a video specifically. In fact, we also did a webinar recently. Let me see, it was like a month ago or yeah, a month ago, how to easily create your own intake form. So I recommend you watch this video that explains step by step on how to use the, like custom fields, how to map those to the system or to the actual form, how to send the questionnaire. So yeah, that's also going to help you, because if you still use a PDF or Word questionnaire that you send to your clients, whenever they send it back, then you have to retype the same data. So I think it's a game changer if you just create your questionnaires with our technology, send them via text message, via that passwordless link, and let the system, again, help you save time. Just to give you an idea, let me open a custom intake form. Let me use this one. And by the way, we recently added the signature option so they can sign electronically. It could be a contract, pretty much, that you send online, and they can sign it online. But yeah, so you can add questions, remove questions, you can translate the questionnaire, and that's going to save you so much time. Okay, next, how do I send that questionnaire with this passwordless form, this passwordless link? Well, if I'm going to use Francisco again. If I click on create questionnaire and say, send it to Francisco as a passwordless link, maybe he speaks Spanish, so I'm going to select the preferred language, what process he's here for, maybe consular processing, I don't know. Oh, this one doesn't have, I'm going to pick my adjustment status. Okay, so I'm going to select the questionnaire that I want him to complete and decide how do I notify the client, via text message, via email, or just copy the link and maybe send him a WhatsApp, right? Because you can open WhatsApp web and I can just copy and paste the link. For today, I'm going to send a text message. And I do want to set up a reminder. How about send him an email once a day, or also a text message after a week? If he hasn't replied or submitted the questionnaire, I give up. And that's it. So that's how you send a passwordless link, and your client can just click and enter the code and complete the questionnaire and send it back. What is this form defaults or defaults? Please correct me if I'm pronouncing it incorrect. So if you go into the admin and click here from defaults, then you may add a form, let's say the I-45, and you can customize these forms by default. So moving forward, every time that I open an I-45, I want these questions to be automatically selected with no, 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 no. It's a lot faster than having to click manually on every question for every client, right? And of course, if you have a client who says yes to any of these, then you can simply change that. But make sure that you guys take advantage of these features to automate things. And remember, I have this PowerPoint presentation with all these links that you can click on. Don't forget to download the PowerPoint so you can you repeat the last part? Yes, of course. Let me go back. Yeah, right here. Go into your admin, click here, form defaults, and then add. I'm going to type, remember, just the numbers 400, find, select. It opens the, how do I call it? I mean, just technically, yeah, the default form. So customize it. I'm just going to, this is a new version of the form, so I'm not quite familiar. Um, it used to be page 10 or 13, so now it has like all of these, you know. So if I say, you know what, every time I do an N400, I want, like, because most of my clients are going to say no to these questions anyways. So I might as well just mark it, save it, close it, and now let's test it. Francisco is here for an N400. Let me just add it to this existing case. So forms, add 400, find, add, and open. Okay, so I opened the N400, and because I customized my default values, then was it page 10? No, page 9. They're here. But let's say Francisco says yes to any of these. So I can see it's a lot faster than just having to check every single no, 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 no. Let me know if you have questions. Okay, you're welcome, Denada. Yeah, trust me, this is gonna change. I mean, what, at least 10 minutes of your day can be spare save, right? So let's close this. Also keep in mind, if the US, you know how much they love to have new versions of the form. So if there's a new version of the form, then you have to go back to the admin and just rechange it. I mean, change or add the default values, okay, to the new version of the form. Okay, let's continue. Auto-populating forms. This is the bread and butter, right? So we talked about creating the contact, entering data, linking the members, entering their data, and then I show you how to create the forms. I mean, the cases. Now that I have the case, how do I populate the forms? Well, before you even open the form, click on the name of the party right here. Click on the like the name of the client, and it opens another tab. Let me read a question, sorry. It says, how or can you tell what information on the forms will not be populated? Well, no, I can't tell you that because it varies by form. It varies by scenario. For example, you know, like she has a profile, but then I probably didn't enter the data. And when I open the form, obviously it's not going to populate. Or the form has an additional question that it's not here in the profile. Like, let me give you an example. The DS260. Let me open it. 260. Open. Something that you pretty much learn as you go. Like if I open the form and I see that, I don't know why you're waiting longer than usual. There we go. I don't know if you can tell, but this is white. This is kind of grayish. The reason why it looks like this is because I customize it. I created a question. What's your full name in native alphabet? Let me replace with Valeria. Valeria Simple. Okay. See, Valeria's account has all these standard fields, name, the phone number, social. But if I scroll down, I created a custom field for that question. What's your full name in native alphabet? And I enter the value. And I connected this to the DS260 so that when I open the form, not only it transfers the basic system fields, but it also transfers my custom fields. So to answer your question, I can't tell you which form won't populate which fields because it varies. And that's the reason why we encourage you to complete as much as you can in all of these, like their previous addresses or employment history, or right, because then most of the form will populate. I'm going to launch a poll. Please let me know, how do you guys capture your client's info? So I'm still waiting for the rest of the participants to vote. There we go. We got more than 50%. Thank you so much for participating. So I was curious to see, okay, well, what do you guys do when you enter data? Do you enter that directly into the profile, which looks like the majority of you do, and all, or use the alternate view? Or again, of course, you're new and you haven't really explored the options. But again, the best practice is, hey, enter the data into the system, the contact profile, not the forms. Let's see. I'm gonna close the DS260. All right, let's see the I-130. Now remember, in the beginning when I show you how to create a case properly, uh, I just wanted to know if there was some systemic way to tell what information will not. No, we don't have that. Are you then saying that areas of the forms that doesn't auto-populate can be customized? Yes, yes, they can. Areas of the form that are not populating are, like I said, either number one, because you didn't enter the value, and of course we can't transfer anything. Two, there's no question here, no space or field that can be used unless you customize it. Remember, you can create custom fields that, like I said, you can use. Think of it like a container, right? Where am I going to store this name, full name in native alphabet if I don't have a space to store it or save it? So that's why you customize it. And that's something you do here in the admin under client custom fields. And you can put that in here under your general info page. Okay. That way, when you open the form, it transfers. I think earlier this week, I helped a client who was doing, I think it was an N400, and she wanted to transfer when the green card, what like when the person was, when they became a legal resident. Hold on, let me show you. So let me go back to the N400. Sorry if we're like diverting, but this is the reason why we're doing a live training so you guys can ask questions. So bear with us. So this is the form. On page 2 has a question like, if you are a lawful permanent resident, provide the date you became a lawful permanent resident. So it's purple because someone did create a field in the admin right here, the client custom field, and they mapped that. They connected. Mapping means connecting your custom field with the actual form. I know we don't have time to go in these more advanced section of the system, but just write down the words form, custom, data, population. We have a video that explains in detail, step by step, how to do that. How can you customize these fields? How can you map them to the form so they auto-populate? Okay. All right. So let's continue. I'm going to go back to the form I-130. So I told you to click on the name of the person because it opened. It's called, let me put it in the notes. Form, custom, data, population. I feel like tempted to show you guys everything in 1 hour, and then I get in trouble because they say, you're going too fast. And yes, I just have 1 hour. Central. So my, yes, YouTube channel or the user's guide. Look, if I say help, user's guide, and then search, form, custom, data, population. Dios mío. Okay. Of course, this is not helping me. Give me 1 second because I need to clear the cache in my browser. But it's Friday, right? It's Friday. Okay. User's guide. I'm just using a different browser. All right. So search, form, custom, data, population. Here we go. So you can watch the video right here, or you can follow step-by-step instructions. I know this is more, it feels like or seems like it's more complicated, but once you get the idea, it's pretty cool because then you decide, okay, I want this field to go here on this form. Think about it. It could be for asylum cases or TPS or, removal, like everything. You can say, you know what, let me create a field that we can put in a questionnaire so the client can respond to the questionnaire and answer that. And then once that is accepted, then it stores in the system as a custom field. Then I want to connect that explanation or response to the actual form, and it transfers. So it's for anything, any form. All right, so going back to the form, for those who want to learn how to auto-populate forms. See, this is what I was saying earlier. Petitioner info goes here, and it went. But if I had beneficiary on page 5, it wouldn't transfer because it says alien. If that ever happens to you when the data doesn't transfer, go select, replace, and click on the name of the person, regardless of the role. For example, okay, well, let's say Francisco. Okay, I finished Francisco's form, and I need now another I-130 for like the daughter. So I can label the form where it says description, edit, and use this Francisco's form. But then I make a copy of it. Say select, copy. This is one of my favorite features because I can save so much time and clone the form and copy it by, all right, now I label it so I know who's, okay. In fact, you can move it, drag and drop it. You can put all the I-130s together. One for Francisco, one for the daughter. When I open the form, all the work that I did for Francisco stays there. I don't have to re-enter it. But when I go to page 5, we replace him with the daughter. How? By clicking here. Select. Here's Francisco's info. So select, replace with, where's the daughter? Miranda. And now this form becomes Miranda's form. Look, that's her data. So you don't have to do the whole work again. Imagine again when you guys do as asylum with 5 children, you just work on one form, label it, make a copy, change the label, and use the select button to replace the data. I know this again seems more advanced, but just want to give you as much as I can so that next week you start a more relaxed week and organized week. Form tools. The form tools are, let's reopen the form. These sticky notes or the type anywhere, right? So if I want to add a post-it or a sticky note, I can enter my notes. I don't necessarily have to print them because I can print without the sticky notes. I may also type anywhere with this keyboard, right? I can also override a field or cancel that, or like an overdue. If I need to change the date of birth, I can simply switch to her profile and change it here. So I might as well just change it one time only than having to change every single form. So I change the contact and I just go back to the form and refresh. How do I refresh the form? I use the select party button and I click select, replace, and I just click on her name. That's how you refresh with Serenade so that you don't have to close and reopen the form. Look, the date of birth has been updated. Okay, any questions, let me know. Another thing you should know is that when you type data, the system shrinks it and it creates the addendum for you if you exceed the limit of characters. One more. If you click, well, wait until you're done on, until you're finished with the form, then you click here and replace blanks with, I think someone asked about this question. This is how you do it. Replace this with NA, replace. And it goes throughout the form and it finds any blank spaces and enters NA. In fact, you can do that for misspell. Like if I spell the last name wrong, instead of looking for where else did I misspell the last name, I can just replace it with the correct spelling. Anyway, so that's one of the tools that you guys have. Today, I'm not going to have time to cover, although I did mention letter templates. This custom reports module that requires a subscription. It's one of the optional modules. I highly recommend it to, like I said, avoid stress and save you time. Why? Because you can personalize any report and schedule them. You do that in the administrator portal. Again, if you are subscribed, just create the report, schedule it. so that you can say, you know what, on a daily basis, send me a PDF or Excel to know how many cases do I have this week, or how many pending invoices or have a balance. Or so I highly, highly recommend that you get custom reports if you want to save time. The document assembly is where you can put together the package. So if you have finished the forms and you've gathered the evidence, the documents and the cover letters, well, it's right here. Document assembly helps you put together the package. So I can say, you know what, for this adjustment of status, create this version of the package with these forms and these documents and these cover letters. So I can select and move and then drag and drop and put it exactly the way you want it, or remove the ones you don't need. So I can just remove the N400. I can move the passport here, the cover letter here, and then create the table of contents so that the page numbers update accordingly. I know it's going to save you time. Again, if you've been doing it manually, this is at least 1% of hope where you don't feel stressed. It also helps you with the footer page numbering and the caption. So every single page, if you want to download or print the package, it can, yeah, I'll just wait until it's completed and then I can just download. You have 5 days to to download it before we remove it from this job requests area. But yeah, that's it. Let me go over the resources and support before you guys go. Some of these sections that you're probably not aware of. Did you know that we have translations for intake forms? That we have what else? Like the e-filing, where you can import data also from the CBP website. So click on the links. Don't forget to download my PowerPoint presentation. All right, what do? I have help. Call us. Call us Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, except on holidays. Send us an email 24/7. Or, like I said on your home screen, click on technical support and send your feedback to developers. We have the user's guide. We do these trainings for free. We have a podcast. We also have a Facebook forum page. If you haven't joined, I put the link right here. We have the YouTube channel. Again, don't forget to subscribe. And some of the questions that you sent were, where do I enter the client in the client database the info for recent immigration history on the I-485? Well, that's something that you add over here where it says documents, I-94s, and entries. Remember, if you are subscribed to e-filing, you can import the data from the CBP website. This was supposed to be a refresher for me, but there's so much you offer that I actually learned new things today. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Like I said, it's probably overwhelming, but I record the training and I put the video. Our team puts the video in the YouTube channel. So whenever you get a chance, just pause the video, practice, and then contact us if you have questions. If you have to, oh, thank you for your patience. You rock too. Yeah, so have a great weekend if you have to disconnect. I am almost done. So I put the link here for more information if you want to get the e-filing from the CBP auto import right feature. What's the easiest way to collect data from prospects or actual clients? I recommend the anonymous questionnaire. What that is like you put a link on your website or social media pages, and prospects can click on the link instead of you sending it. So that's amazing. Again, the link is right here. For the other ones would be kind of like a passwordless intake forms, meaning you already have a client profile, then send them a passwordless intake form. I cover this one. How can I fill in the empty fields with NA? How can we organize our firm with features we already have in eIMMIGRATION? I can't tell you what you actually have, but my recommendation is that you click on subscription details and see if you do have access to, let's say, custom reports or billing, or, but yeah, you have the reminders and the process steps and you have the tickler. So that's my suggestion so you can get started. These are the upcoming trainings for the month of June. My mistake, we don't have this one on June 14th. I keep adding it, but we have the AILA show next week, so we're going to be at the AILA conference. So disregard, we won't have that training next week. All right, so please connect with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And on behalf of Serenade, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. I hope that your questions were addressed today. And let me know before you go. You're very welcome. Thank you too. Have a great weekend. It's always a pleasure to see you here. Um, oh, awesome. Thank you guys. So like 100% of the votes. That's amazing. All right. Well, have an amazing weekend. Hopefully a less stressful weekend. And happy Friday, everyone. Goodbye. So if you have questions, I can stick around for a couple more minutes. You can just message me. And don't forget to get the PowerPoint presentation before you go. All right, so I don't see any other questions. I'm going to end the session. And again, on behalf of Serenade, thank you for joining us today and have a good weekend. Bye bye.